Hello everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live today. It's Ask Me Anything about our services and coaching. So I'm going to just kind of give you a brief breakdown of what those services are and basically what the experience is like. You're going to actually get to see me for once versus me just filming the screen. So we're going to be doing that today. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section. This is what it's all about. And if you want to have your focus today, look at something, that's what we're going to look at. We want to be able to dive in there and look at anything specific about your own website and what you're doing. Hello, David. How you doing? What's your question about SEO? Would love to see what you're doing wrong with your SEO. So let me go ahead and get you fired up. Give me 1 second. Patrick. David, do you have an account with us? If so, what's it under? Do you know your account ID? I'm on the 3rd page of Google so far, not able to crack the code. Yeah, SEO can be a challenge. Okay, let me know. Could you show me how to do funnel marketing on my website? So yeah, we can look at that today as well, James. See what's going on with your website. I'll get you loaded in. Okay. All right, let me pull you up. David, give me 1 second. Okay. Let me log in there, see what we got going on. And I'm going to pull up one other thing before we jump right on in. Okay. All right, so I got all these loaded up. I'm going to pull up it in here, and then we're going to jump right on in. Again, welcome today. This is the Ask Me Anything portion. So this is what we're going to focus on. So we're going to focus on the website, stuff today, our coaching experiences and things like that we have through the education.photobiz.com area. So when you log in for the first time, you'll be able to see at education, let me pull it up, education.photobiz.com. There we go. And let me flip over to live. So hello. Hi everyone, I am Jeremy Heiler, your creative director for PhotoBiz, and yes, this is what the education.photobiz.com section looks like. So when you come here, you'll see there's opportunities for workshops and coaching. Today we're going to focus really on the coaching side and then the services that we have available. So for coaching, what it is like you get a one-on-one experience. You're going to be able to see what that looks like today. So I'm going to kind of do quickies with David and James today so you can see what they're doing. So, the first one, we have a prompt about SEO. So what this would be like if we were doing a real coaching service. It's a 1-hour service each time for $100 per hour. You just basically book our coaches, our experts online, and they'll go through everything. I'm not the SEO expert, but I'll do what I can to see what we're looking at today. I'm more of the design, e-commerce, marketing side, so I can help out with those solutions. But we're going to go ahead and kind of see what's going on with David's website. So I'm going to pull it up. We can see what his website's looking like. We'll jump in together, and this is where you kind of talk it out with me. You tell me what you're working on, what's problems you might be facing. Maybe there's something you want to work on. So today he wants to work on SEO. So he's coming up on page 3. So let's see what he's doing on his website right now that we think we could see improvements on. So right away, we're just going to give it a website glance. We're going to look at where he's trying to connect to. He's a portrait headshot photographer located in Western New York in city of Rochester, New York. So, we're hitting those key points right away, what types of photography to do. So that already there is telling us the big picture, where he's located at. Some things that we could do, we might be able to explore a few more options. I'm going to see what else we got. We got our portrait galleries. And here's right away, we got our gallery set in. There's some images here. They're doing some good stuff, but there's some things that I would recommend, and I'm going to pull up what I recommend here. David, this would be a great blog article for you to check out. Go to our blog.photobiz.com anytime you need some new content, but we wrote something recently about how to optimize your gallery pages. And that's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is optimize these gallery pages. And what do we mean by that? So, besides just having the images on the page, you're going to want to do a little bit more. So we're going to create these pages to be more targeted so they can be landing pages within themselves. So what does that mean? You're going to have your images there. We recommend between 30 to 50 images per gallery, and that's it. And then there's some other factors we want to put in there. We're going to want to put in some titles. You already have a title in there, it looks like, for portraits, but what types of portraits? Is it anything specific? If you're doing, what type of photography are we most likely, portrait and headshots? So this is where you can talk about the portraitures in general, what type you tend to be doing. It looks like a lot of seniors seem to be in here. So that'd be something you might want to even emphasize on, or family portraiture. So kind of put those key details. Besides just in a title, we're going to look at options such as, just putting in information. So adding the description, 300 to 500 words on each page. That's going to help with that crawlability that you're looking for search. So somebody might land on this page before they even land on your home page. So those are things that we're going to want to do right away. And again, you're putting stuff on the page like this. So here's an example that I would do for a senior photographer. Jane Doe Studios captures senior photos in X location and surrounding areas. I would work to showcase your personality through portraits that might be done in studio or on location. Allow me to bring out those hidden talents, beauty, and what makes you unique. You might be an athlete, artist, tech whiz, or a wallflower. No matter what, I will make you shine your brightest. So get ready to have fun and work together to capture these memories. You'll receive Instagram-worthy digital images that you can share, plus artwork for your walls, of your home that your parents and grandparents will treasure. Let's get started. Right there, that's 103 words. So, if you want to put a little bit more on the page, you can. You can start talking about investment options and stuff like that. Just put those details on the page. But just having some written locations on there is going to do big. So what do? We covered it on that page right away. Who it was, the what, senior photography, where, X location, why, to share online with family and friends, and what else? Digital images and print options available. So those are all the key things that we already inteled on that page right away that's going to help at the end of the day. Another thing that I would do on that page is give them some type of secondary menu or add a form directly to that page or a call to action that drives them where you want to go next. You don't want to have any dead end on the page because once we get to the bottom of here, where do you want us to go? And there's a huge gap here too, so we're just hanging out here. We're not going anywhere. So those are things that I would do to emphasize and do it for the following page as well. Same thing for your headshots. It looks like you have a little bit of words here, so that's a great start. So those are the types of things you want to implement on all your pages whenever you can. You got some package information, I would put that here. Put some details here. I think this design could use a little love to make it a little bit more fresher and pointing out to what you want. And I would put this here before we get to the scheduling option. So those are some things I would notice. And then for the branding page, got some great details here. Who you're trying to target, that's good. Some branding session options, what they start at. And right here. So what I would recommend on this, you have this lower section. This looks familiar to the section above. I don't think you need it, but I would definitely put, a booking option directly on this page. And again, about us, we have this great little section, great information about you here. Next, I would put a call to action. Drive them where you want to go next. Do you want to learn more about portraits or, investing with me? Something like that would be a really good page to emphasize on here. Another thing that you have down here in the footer, you have a wedding section that's not even in the top gallery, and I'm curious why you did that. So that might be something that you might want to talk about as well if you are interested in doing weddings long term, or if that's just an afterthought. If it is just an afterthought, you can still tuck those details into those pages, or even put it up here in the top, even though you might want to do portraits and headshots and branding more. Just let people know that you offer those services. And another big thing is just looking at your site navigation. The contact is all the way here in the corner to get to that contact page. I recommend making sure it's here as well, because some people might not even notice it here, just because that's how people are. Some people are kind of sight blind when you look at things, so you kind of have to hold their hand as much as you can possibly when you're walking through the website. So those are just some things that we could do. And then on the homepage, I would put a little bit more words on it, maybe add a little bit more splashy images. We have these great ones right here at the top, but again, this is your brochure page. So when I unfold it, I want to see some details about you, your work, and kind of just keep telling that story. So this is where you can put something about portrait photography, and the next section about headshots, branding, and even wedding photography. Click here to book which ones, and all of them have call to actions that drive them to those portrait pages or those pages on your site. So those are some great ways you can emphasize it. You have the SEO already kind of implemented on the back end, so that's good. Next is just making the actual page details, the engagement side of it really work versus the back end. The people really worry about when they're doing SEO is more of that stuff, but that's just a piece of the puzzle. You got to start doing the other pieces that's going to help Google emphasize like what's most important. People are staying on this page longer because they're reading more. So that's what you want at the end of the day. Another thing I would recommend is blogging. And blogging is a great way that you can share to social media channels and drive customers over into your sales funnel. And that's something that we'll talk about with James as well, as like just creating those funnels are going to be important. So that's what you want to do. You just want to start getting people from social media trapped into here. So then you want them to direct them where you want them to go on your page. You want to click here, put a call to action. Put this here, have a form on this page, all these little options. So those are some things that are going to do to help massage the website in general and give it some oomph when it comes to SEO. So I'm going to recommend this blog. I'm going to give you this one. This is how to optimize your pages. I'm going to throw it in the comments section. And if you're going to start blogging, I do recommend it because this is going to give you great organic search ability, because people might land on Rochester, New York wedding or senior portraits from a blog you wrote, and they might land on that first. That then drives them deeper into your website. So here's an SEO-friendly blog template that we recommend. Of course, you start out with your blog titles, about 50 to 60 characters. Focus on the being, the interest, and engaging. Keywords are secondary priority. Content, 1 to 2 paragraphs. That's all you need. So about 300 words. That's all you need to put in there. And focus on the who, what, when, where, and why. And then no more than 10 to 15 images. Some people like to go crazy at every image. You don't have to. And then after that, have call to action, some buttons that link out to galleries or booking with you. That's what's going to be key. And then that blog can then act as an additional landing page opportunity that just drives them deeper and deeper into your website. I'm also going to give you this one to look at as well. Whoops. Throw it over here. There we go. I shoot few weddings a year, but not my favorite thing to do. And I understand that. As a photographer back in the day, I didn't like shooting weddings either. I did about 2, and I was like, this is enough for me. I'd rather do the intimate portrait stuff myself. So you can still implement it on there and just have it. Have it as the lowest hanging fruit, and have your best stuff at the top that you want people to book you for. And then you can just plug it in here and there once in a while. You don't have to make it the emphasis. You want to make the branding, the headshots, and the portraits your main goal at the end of the day. But those are some things I would do to help optimize the page right away. Would posting video on the blog work, or is it best to do type? I say pair it together. So like if you go to our blog, we'll do the same thing. If we have a video on there, we'll just kind of pair it all together. So think about that when you're putting anything together. If you have text, pair it with something, an image or a video, just to get people, excited about something. So like even this one, like, hey, we got this great thing, this brand new PhotoBiz 9 builder. Boom, we got some text, we got some images, we got some GIFs, you name it. It's all paired in there together. Now this is a little bit longer and more informative, but think about the context no matter what. If you make a video, go ahead and put the words next to it, because it's just going to help with searchability and it gives context to the video. You know, he can explain what's going to be happening. Like, check out this awesome portrait session I had, behind the scenes look. It's a great way to see what it's like working with David Patrick Photography. And then after that, video, and then underneath that, interested in booking today, just click here and I'll be ready to work with you. You know, something like that. And then put that call to action button that leads to that form. Okay. Next, let's take a look at Ferguson Fine Arts. See what we got here. So, Ferguson, Mr. Ferguson, he's looking to figure out how to optimize some funnels marketing on the website. So, let's just take a look at his website first. Let's kind of generalize what's going on. So, are there any lives that talk about the partner programs? Yes, there are some lives. I have to go back and check and see where they're at, but I can always forward them to you at the end, David. I'll hunt them down for you. If anything, if you have any questions about the partner program, you know, we have that partner.photobiz.com. You can go in there as well. There should be some info in the back end. If you don't know how to get in that portal, we can go from there. But I'll try to connect with you after this if you have any questions about it, David. Okay, so that's kind of what a coaching session is like, except done in 10 minutes versus a full hour. So you can get a lot done during that time. And this is where we can go in the back end and clean up stuff and fix things here and there. So those are what we would do in a solution like that. You know, we were able to give David a bunch of feedback, what we would do to improve the website. So next, let's take a look at James' website, see what he's got going on. He's wanting to create these sales funnels and make it stronger. So right away, some things that I can see that, we're looking at beautiful photos. There's some things that I would tweak on the website just to polish it a little bit more. And then, like some spacing and stuff like that. So basically it comes down to cleaning up a little things here and there. But you got some great information. What would I do on some of these? Make sure there's call to actions to anything on your website where you want to drive next to, right? So that looks good. And you have a lot of details on the homepage. Again, it's about being a little bit splashier, or at least changing it to where it's a little bit more truncated. You don't want your homepage to be too long, because we've seen in details, if someone's signing up for the first time, they might only get to about here. And we want them to get to here at least so they'll click on something. So we've seen just how data works and how far people scroll. People don't scroll that often. People don't read that often. So we want to make sure the text on our homepage is skimmable. So, we're looking at very big words. And then here at this section, the raise and review, this is a great thing to have. I would put it probably lower at the bottom. So if someone does get there, they're getting this detailed content in this section. So those are some things I would do right away. But yeah, make it skimmable. You have some great details here and there, but some of this can live on other pages that you might have, like on your model page. Let's see. So you have some details here, right? That's good. And then some of that stuff can live here as well. So those are types of things that we would look at. It's just kind of cleaning up, making sure it's a little bit easier to read, because you don't have to have a lot of words sometimes. It's more about the context of it, and especially for the homepage, you want to make that a short, sweet one, and then these other pages is where you can get more detailed, and that's what's going to be great for the SEO realm. For the SEO for the homepage, it's more about focusing about the who, what, when, where, why about you, and then you can have testimonials, and then your reasons why they should book with you. So that's what we're going to look at. So some sales funnel options that we have, and I think you were at the thing on Thursday when I talked, or Wednesday, man, it's already been 2 days. We talked about some things like sales funnels and things like that. So let's pull up some options again that we have. So when we're creating sales funnels, we're looking at options. Okay, got a great article about it here that talks about the different types of sales funnels. So creating better sales funnels. So I'm going to pop this in here as well. There we go. So this article talks about the different types of sales funnel functionality that you want. I mean, the most basic one is going to be this, obviously, going from an ad or post on social media that drives into a page with booking options, and then the goal, right? So what do you want out of that booking options? Is it to actually book, or is it to contact you or get something else? Now, there's other things that you can create as a photographer. Some people like to, do a lot more. So you can create options like if you're doing something specifically for other photographers, you can have handouts and digital download leads and things like that. Some things I would work on, for like ClickFunnels and things like that. ClickFunnels are a little bit more intricate because they rely on alternative objectives. So maybe you don't want them to book with you. Maybe it's something else. So this is what a ClickFunnel could essentially look like. You're going from an ad to a landing page with explanation of events or products or service. And then the call to actions is drive them to an alternative objective or a deeper explanation with add-ons, then to the goal. I think simplicity is better, so I kind of stray away from click-ons unless you have tons of options, like investable options, like perks and things like that. But I usually leave that once I've already met with the customer. But these are alternative objectives and things like that are great for people that aren't photographers, like people who do services or tradesmiths and things like that. You're a plumber, but are you looking for something to install water purification system? Those work really great in those systems. But the two that I think photographers prefer is very quick, just sales funnel like this versus a story brand one. A story brand one's more about how how your customer has a problem and how you solve it. So it's the infomercial type of style, right? So it's like, if I only had a table, I'd be able to watch TV, right? And I wouldn't have to worry about fumbling my drink or my food or my remote control. Of course, we would create something that would fix that problem. So a TV tray would probably be the solution. So your website acts as the TV tray to this person's problem. So we're basically talking about the problems that customers face. Like maybe, have you never had photos of you that you really liked? Have you ever had something? Are you shy from the camera? Those are types of details where you kind of get inside subconsciously of your audience and the person that's on your website. You're starting to put that narrative together that maybe you are the solution to that problem. Like, you won't be afraid with the camera with me, and here's how it goes. And then through that, you're displaying options. You're going from your homepage to call to actions that drive them either directly to the goal or maybe deeper into the page. Like, again, going to a gallery that leads to a call to action that goes to a testimonial page, or from the homepage that goes to an investment option. So those are types of things that you would want to build on top of those just to make them more organic at the end of the day. So let's take a look at what he's doing with his website right now. So he's got these, homepage. One thing that we're missing is, we have this nice little section here that drives us to which types of galleries. But we are, we get our first call to action all the way down here. Click to see senior graduates. Great. So we're going to click this. It's going to probably take us to that portfolio section, which is great. So we got some information here, stuff like that. I might bring this step higher because we want to get people in that funnel faster, right? So what do I recommend? Let's take a look at your homepage. So we have this great little section here. We're talking about what you're doing to emphasize and bring, some life to them. But Jim, what I would recommend is let's start off where you're located. Creating heirloom portraits for your legacy by appointment. My goal and passion is to create these things. So these are great things, but I would add a section before here. Maybe something creating heirloom portraits for your legacy by appointment only, located in the X location. That way people right away know where you're located at. So that's going to help with the funnel right away. So we're getting you stacked in where you're located. And then you go into your passions and goals, how long you maybe been shooting, your skill photography, etc. So maybe just, going through here, trimming out some words that get to that experience. Because we can see you've been photographing for 34 years. Fantastic. But again, we want to try to pull in some of those other elements too. Now, you might shoot more internationally or nationally, but we do want people to know where you're located at. That's just going to help with the Google side of things. And then we're creating personalized art for your home and office. Fantastic. Miss Texas, Kelly Moore. What I would recommend here, maybe we put this text on the side, kind of running on the side here. That way we can see more of the model. I think that would look good. And then you could have a call to action that drives them into your portfolio for either glamour or whatever types that you want to do here, commercial shots. Then raising reviews. I think this is good, but I might tuck this a little bit lower. So, what is your bread and butter at the end of the day? Is it doing the glamour stuff, what you really enjoy? Is that what's paying the bills? I would make sure that's emphasized at the top. So what I might do is I might just move some sections around, kind of reorganize where these pieces are. So maybe that choose which type of photography you're interested in. That's what I put here. Maybe I pull it up to here, and then underneath that, creating personalized art for your home and office, and then we go into kind of breakouts of which type of photography stylings you're showing. Through here, yeah. See, we have the studio located in here. I would bring that up higher. Again, up into this section. And again, it might just be restylizing and recontextualizing the page content a little bit, just to make it a little bit more flowful. So, if you don't mind, Jim, I'll jump in the back of your website, and what I'll do is I'll kind of make a prototype real quick so you can kind of see what I would do to the page, okay? So give me a moment. I'm going to go behind the scenes and get that set up real quick. Yeah, and I'll just create a copy of this page, and then I'll just make some quick tweaks so you can kind of see where the flow can be. And obviously it won't be perfect today, but it'll at least give you like an alternative thinking about like, okay, here's what I could do. And that's just going to help improve just this as a sales funnel, the home page, right? So I'm just going to put home coaching copy. Just going to name it that. All right, create copy. Yes, include content. Okay, so then I'm going to hide this page for now. We don't want people to be able to visit it. And then, yeah, all right, let me bring it up in here. Okay. All right, so we got that copy. So again, we got this beautiful photo here. Heirloom, we got this. Some things I would do. Let's go ahead and just kind of see what's going on. Keep everything kind of centered. Let's do that for now. And I'm going to pull up this page so I can go back and forth kind of looking at it. So we can see right here we got that going on. Might change a little bit of just some spacing and stuff like that. Okay. Create personalized art. So next we're going to bring up this section here. And then where was that one other? Change the same, we want them to have an action, right? So we want to like view my portfolio. Something of that nature. You want to something like view my portfolio to see my latest work. We want people to take an action. So we're going to do something like that. Then here, got these nice little sections here. Okay, what I might do here is I would redesign this section. I would use a FAQ block. And excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so what I would do is here, I would take the Sherry Coon. Take that one. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to reorganize this, give it a nice layout. I love this block because you can do so much unique stuff with it. So I'm just going to choose, for now, we're going to do 3 columns, see what it looks like. I'm going to go to layout, I'm going to add a new item. We're just going to paste in, take Sherry, make her the question section. There we go. Make sure there's no spelling errors. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing with Donna. Copy. Go back to our block above. Add a new item. And this is going to help clean up so that the page doesn't feel so long, because that's what you want at the end of the day. It's also going to stylize it a little bit more, give it a little bit more polish. And that's always helpful, right? So, okay, looks good. Go get the second one, and then take this one, copy, we go. We got one more. So since we have 4, I'll change the column type, because I think we had it as a 3 by, but I'll change it maybe to a 2 by. We'll see what it looks like. Okay. So let's see, layout wise, I think these only go to 3. Yeah, so we'd want to. And I can do that type of stuff too once we start doing it. But I like to do everything first on a separate page before it goes live, just in case, you know. So I'm going to change it to a 2 by. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. So when we're looking at this page, see it right there, and then we'll just change the colors. You know, we can have item background color. Maybe we use that darker tone. Item title, we'll use white. Text white. And that, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, see, it already gives it a little bit of extra pop, right? So we could do something like that. And we can make it this darker tone too. Let's see, background color. Let me see, which color is that? Okay, so it is that one, okay. Making sure. Go in here, color, background, darker tone, let's see. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. See, it's just giving it a little bit more rich pop to it. Just makes it a little bit more elegant. And then you can get, that'll shrink down this section a whole lot more, and it looks a little bit more elegant. Then we're going to bring this one up here, I think somewhere. And then we can make modifications to that, and we will. But just getting it reorganized first. But see, look at that. We're already making some changes, and it's making some big, just giving it a little bit more polish, you know. So then let's take a look what we got so far. So we got this section here. I'll modify this a little bit. So we're going to go through here. Let me go ahead and make that change. I'm going to change it from a text title to a text editor block, and then I'm going to change this to a H2. Let's see what that looks like real quick. There we go. Now it's starting to get somewhere. And then we'll change the styling so it's thin here. Here we'll also change the styling. Make it thin. That way they're a little bit closer to one another. And then we'll put some space, some dividers between them, just to break up that space a little bit. Let's see what that does. Yeah, so that's going to help a lot. So we'll add a little bit extra. We'll make it medium on both of them. So now we're getting straight to where you're located at, right at the top. You know, so we're going from here to, you know, creating portraitures, you know, by appointment, and then where you're located. So that's already hitting those things right away, which is going to be, you know, especially for people who are searching for local. But again, you're also putting out there, you already travel anywhere in the U.S. and worldwide for destinations to create artistic images. So perfect right away. So those are some things that I would do just to get it going. So we have that. And I kind of like that darker tone in here, so maybe we make this section that. So let me do that real quick. Just because we want people's attention with that high contrast, you know? And again, you know, the only big difference between this and a normal coaching would be, I would actually be able to hear you out loud. You know, we would be talking to one another while we're making these changes, discussing the changes out loud. And we're kind of doing that via through the, you know, the box here, but wow, look at that, that's looking good. You know, so those are the types of things that we're going to be, you know, we're just making these changes to make it really, really stick out. Some other things, let's take a look down here. Got this next little title section. It looks good, but I'm going to change where it's at horizontal. let's go left just to see what it looks like. And see, that's looking pretty good. I might make some quick changes on that. Maybe we just, the cool thing about a banner, it doesn't have to be completely, you know, we have it overlay color. Let's make it the darker tone. Let's see. Especially since it's already at the top, just having a little bit on there just adds a little depth to it. And we're going to make some few other changes. We're going to get rid of that where's it at? Styling. Yeah, we don't need that down arrow. There we go. So we got that. Other things I might change. Maybe even the size of the text. I'm trying to think. I might have to make that change later. I can't remember the code exactly what it would be. But the font size, we maybe change it just so it's a little bit smaller, so it doesn't take up too much space on here with the breakup. Maybe this section's taller, and then this side is a little bit smaller. Or, you know, we have this great text here, so we could take. Let me just take it over here real quick. In fine art, so we could keep it like this, and then maybe we make this a, let's see if this one works here, H2, let's see if that makes any big justifications to it. See what it looks like. So it's bringing it up to there. So something else I would modify is, we have it left, we have it center. Let's see what top looks like real quick. So you could have something like that, and then you could make some tweaks, maybe just add a little break at the top, just to push it down just a touch. There we go. There we go. And then we would add some type of call to action, where you want to drive them next, you know. We would push it towards a page, maybe it goes to our glamour ones, you know, view more. View our gallery, you know. Yeah, view our glamour gallery, something like that. Let's see what it looks like. So now you can see, like, we're getting somewhere, we're making the changes. It's got a little bit more oomph on it. Make sure that it's looking good for our mobile. So yes, you already have that set up. And if you ever needed to, you could put a mobile version of this photo up where it's just maybe cropped in for vertical, just in case you ever needed to make any changes like that. But I think it looks good for now, so we got that. So we got these points, they're pulling up, they're looking good. I like this little, especially over the top of the horse. I think this looks really cool. We create painterly portraits for all types of your homes. And again, I gotta remember that code, but I would maybe make this text a little bit smaller, just to kind of play with it a little bit more. Like, I'll just kind of mess with it in the instead of the title section, in the subtitle section. I'll just put it in here. Because then I can really make some tweaks. And I'll make this one at H2 as well. Let's see, H. Let's see what it's doing now. It's a little small, so maybe we'll see what H1 is. And again, I would make I can't remember the code out off the top of my head at the moment, but I would make it where the fonts are bigger, obviously. Maybe it's H1, let's see. And then you can kind of keep messing around till you get something you like. But definitely would mess with that section a little bit more. So maybe it's creating painterly portraits. Let me just take that part now. And then for the walls, keep it like that for messing around till we get something we like. See, that's looking pretty good. I think we don't need those breaks. There we go. And then we can push up the other section behind it. So BR, BR, BR. Any plans to add a mobile view section to the back end? Well, currently I don't know about that part yet, but I do know if you ever need to, if you use Chrome, it's really fast and easy. Just hit View, Developer, Developer Tools, and then right away you can see what your mobile version looks like. So you can see what that section looks like now with that in there. It looks really awesome. But yeah, and then you can choose which device you want it to actually look at. You know, if you're working for something specific like an iPhone or, you know, something, you know, like a Galaxy S8 or something like that, whatever you're looking for, or an iPad, that'll bring up what it looks like on those devices. Yeah. Really helpful. And see right here, I would add that another call to action there maybe. Or we have this arrow that points us into creating, you know, portraits and heirlooms, creating heirloom portraits. This is already kind of being emphasized, so I don't think we need this word here. You might have just had it for breaking up, but it actually might look good flushed together. Let's see. Yeah, you could have it where it's kind of telling a story that way. And for this one, I kind of, you know, if we have one center, kind of like one being off to the side a little bit. So let me first, I'm going to push this up just one more touch by adding another break. And then for this one, come over to the left. No, right. Yeah, right. Let's see what we got. And then, again, we want to make sure that text stands out just a touch. I'm just going to change the styling from that to about 10%. There we go, just so it pops a little bit. And there we go. And let's make this all consistent. So where it says click to see, make it all. We'll just say view R. Something like that. Let's see. View our senior graduates gallery. So you can already see it's doing something different. It's telling a story different ways. It's just cleaning it up at the end of the day, you know. And then you have this nice little breakup right here. This looks really good. Have us produce and create some swimsuit photos. I might just, let's see, what would I do in this section? Oh, I also want to make a tweak to this other section real quick. I'm going to take bring it down here. Take away this part. Got to make this a H2 again. H-H2 and BR. Let's see what that does real quick. Creating heirloom portraits and albums. See, I'd want to tweak that font just a little bit so it fits all a little bit better. So maybe creating heirloom portraits. You could probably say that means the same thing. So there we go. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to, for a high school senior, you know. Keep tweaking until you get desired results. But yeah, kind of just cleaning up, making stuff pop out where we want to. Create gorgeous romantic portraits for ladies. I think this one looks good. Looking pretty strong. And yeah, other thing I would do here is, you know, we have this click here. In here, again, you know, creating your session. This part right here might be better off in the detail section. or just, kind of pulling it back a little bit, or something like this. I would take it, maybe split it up so it doesn't take up too much space. So maybe we take this second half of it. We can take part of it and put it over here. Let's see what it looks like. So you could have something like that, or that way, see how much space you're saving if we just cut it off right there. You could do something like that, or let me go to the next section. Let me add another FAQ box. Again, I love these FAQ blocks because you can just quickly style them. This is an H3. We'll change it to an back to an H3. Go there. So we have our first one, and then let's go back to that other one. We want to pull, copy, put it back in here. Any questions? Then pull this back up here. There we go. Then flipping it. There we go. And you could either keep it in this format or see if there's a different look that you're going for. Maybe this one or this one. Something like that. It's just kind of figure out which one you think might looks best. But I'm just going to pick this one for now. And you can have it where it's broken up. And let's find, is this photo one that you uploaded background wise? Custom background. So yeah, I'm gonna download it real quick, and then what I'll do is I'll throw it up behind that section too. So we come here, go here, background, custom background, upload. There we go. Make it I think it's covered. So you can see how it looks. And then I'll remove the old one, clean up the other one's styling, make the title color white, text white, background color, item background color. We'll make it that dark tone again. See what it looks like real quick. So again, it's just cleaning it up, at the end of the day. And like we're just making these simple changes, and already we can see big changes right away. Like we're getting straight to the point of where you want them to go. You want them to view your work. They can see some more call outs down here, some testimonials. Maybe right here we would have another call to action to drive them to another gallery. You could have it all built this way. If I was to do anything else, just real quick, I would probably remove this line, even though it's a cool line. I think it would look better. Whoops, did I delete the wrong line? Probably did. Let me see. I did. What line was that? Oh, everyone who walks through the door walks out a beautiful person. So you could have that. I don't think you need these little call outs. I'm just going to remove them. Oh, here we go. Refresh. Because what I really like is this stacking that's going on here. And what I would also do is just kind of play with it. Since we have this one kind of right aligned and this one's right aligned, I would maybe flip this one just to have it that way. And I would make everything consistent where it's just saying click. That way they know what they're getting into with the CRF. Now let's refresh. Oh yeah, so now now it feels like it's kind of got this pattern going on, right? So we have this, we'd add a call to action here. We got this one, then it's back to the center, and then back over here. So now you got this nice little pattern that's built on top of it. You got this section here going on. What would I do here for your footer? Let's take a look and see what's going on. Got this appointments menu. I think it's looking okay. The only thing I might do, you could put all these details in your footer if you wanted to, but I think it's fine. But yeah, I really like that darker tone. I think that looks really rich on the page. We got this kind of stacked over. The only thing is this is the only black text that's on our website. Maybe we change the background or something like that. Maybe just kind of massage it or something like that nature. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. We were able to do this in about 20 minutes, so not too bad, right? And I think it looks really good, David. Jim. Sorry, I'm looking at it over here. Yeah. So what do you think, James? I think we were able to make some big changes right away, and it looks pretty good. Other things I might do, if you could pare down this so it kind of gets a little bit closer in size, maybe for that part, or keep messing with the layouts till you get something you like. You could also always make it where it stacks on top of one another like this. Let's see. You could do something like that if you wanted to. So there's so many choices, so many layouts. You can kind of keep playing with it till you get something that you really like. How much do you charge to work on SEO? So that's a great question. So again, if you ever want to do an SEO coaching, you get 1 hour for $100. But if you want us to actually do all your SEO for you, where you don't have to have much of that, where they'll put the game plan together for you, and then you just execute the game plan afterwards, that's called our SEO Go program. So that service, let me pull that up. And I'll bring up all our services that we have available. A lot of people don't know all the services that we have. So when you click here, about our pro services, you'll see that we have a bunch of stuff that we'll do for you. Like our jump starts, kind of like what we're doing today. We're just kind of cleaning up things, getting stuff going. And then we have our SEO Go. Our SEO Go will take your stuff to the next level. We will have in-house certified Google experts. They will work on optimizing your website, monitoring your performance, and then create those strategies that will help you get those customers. So they'll tell you what you need to do to help on that. So when we click on that, how it works is there's an initial setup. It's a one-time setup fee, so $350 one time, and then that first month. And then if you want to continue doing the monthly, it's $100 a month for that. And the cool thing about this one is maybe you start taking off, you start doing well, you can always unsubscribe. But then if you start to see a lull again, you can always resubscribe to this service. So it's one of our most popular ones. I definitely recommend it to a lot of users, especially if you are trying to really hone in on your SEO skills. This is one of our best things, and yeah, it's outstanding. We've seen so many people rocket it to page 1 just with doing these types of services. So take a look at that one. You can go to photobiz.com/SEO services, and I'll throw it over here in the comments section. But that's one that I definitely recommend, Jim, if you're looking into getting your pages re-optimized and then getting a strategy put together. I think that's key, right? So I definitely recommend doing that. And then we have other services available. We have a dedicated manager. So if you just want to work with one person that makes updates to your website, or you're trying to put together a strategy or something like that, or, an email campaign, you can talk to it, and our dedicated account manager is great. Again, it's $100 per month. You paired with our one guy who will take care of all your needs when you need it done. Versus, some people are like, oh, I get really familiar with one agent, and then I like them. Then I get someone else next time I call in. This will just mean you're talking to your one person once a month. So whatever you needed to do and work on during that time, that's where you could do that. The We Do It For You service is that Jumpstart and SEO Go paired together. So if you ever want us to do that plus optimize your pages, that's how that works. Logo design, if you're ever looking to have your logo design, we have that available as well. Or you maybe need a refresh. Maybe you've had one for a while and you're just trying to modernize it. That's a great service that we have available too. So we have that. And then our custom site design, if you want us to start from scratch, basically build your website from the ground up, it will start with a template as kind of a basis and then build around it. That's where you can really get in and putting the nitty gritty in for special touches on the website. And then Social Spark, if you have trying to, maybe you don't have any social media pages or anything like that and you want us to put it together, we'll put it together and make sure it's optimized for those abilities. We'll do it up to 2 platforms, or maybe you just want to refresh one. Maybe you hadn't touched it and you just want it cleaned up and you want our eyes on it. We'll clean it up and make sure it looks good. And then obviously we have our custom quote option where there's something you're working on, maybe something unique that that you don't know how to implement, or something that you just want done to your website that you saw somewhere else, this is where that custom quote will come in. We'll take a look at what needs to be done to make that happen, and then we'll just give you what it would cost, how many hours, basically, because we do everything build on hours. So those are the services that we have available, and again, that coaching services are available too. Take a look at our education.photobiz.com. Again, you have all these available. Just whenever you're ready, you want to get some design assistance. Basically, what we worked on today was some SEO and design assistance. This is what this would be. Within that hour, we would rock and roll, listen to what your needs are, what you want to do to your website. You're trying to create it, make it stronger. This is what we would do to implement those strengths. And we'll spend an hour together. And then if you want to do another session again, we'd book another one. So those are kind of how those works. So yeah. Let's see what we got. How does the blog work to bring in clients? So again, blogging is the great tool that you need to create that funnel, right? So when you write a blog, like say this blog that I wrote the other day. Let's pull one up. So this blog right here, we're telling people about our brand new PhotoBiz 9. We're sharing it on our social media channels. We're sharing it on all of them. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. This is going to be on there. We're not just putting just that video on there or just an image of us announcing that we have this thing. Now, we might have hyped it up with images to tell people about it, but we want people to click on that to drag them to our website, because then once they're here, what's next? Okay, maybe they have that one. Now they're here. They're looking at things like that. Now they're looking at other blogs. Well, like, what else does PhotoBiz do? Like, okay, let me see what this one is. Which platform is best for SEO? Stuff like that. So then you're locking them in versus them getting distracted with Facebook. Because once you're on Facebook, you know how Facebook is. You get on Facebook, next thing you know, you saw some images, you keep scrolling. You see the next post, you keep scrolling. You see the next ad, you keep scrolling. And that's the thing. Like, you just keep moving versus being somewhere else. So the blog acts as a conduit to bring people into the website, and you can optimize those pages that way to actually make it stronger for you. So, the blog at the end of the day can become its own private target page if you do it right. When you post it on a website, how does it go other places? So if you need to, you can literally just copy and paste it if you need to, right into Facebook. So if I was going to make a post, you could share one right away by just copy and pasting the link right in, and it'll populate right in there, and then you just put a little words about it, or you can go into the blog builder itself. Like, I think I'm still on the back end of yours. Let me flip over. Yeah, we're back in James. So you can see there's some blogs here. Yeah, next thing you would do is you would just take one of those blogs. I'm going to use one of your older ones. You could go here, click share, and you can share to which social media channel you want it to go to. So when you do that, like say if I say Facebook, it's going to trigger it out, and then it's going to give you like the option to post right away. See, there you go. And then you write a little blurb about it, and then hit post to Facebook. And now there's some other tools out there like Hootsuite and things like that that you can use for automation purposes if you want to. You can integrate it that way, but that's the quickest way. We do it through us. You can just click on which one you want to share to, or you can send it directly to a customer if you want to, or copy the link. Because on your blog, yeah, they're right here. So yeah, it's just making sure they get to where you want them to go to. Yeah, so just copy, paste, you're good to go. And for something like Instagram, you can create a page that kind of is like just a targeted landing page. Like if you go to our PhotoBiz one, let me pull it up. Let's leave. You'll see, if it'll allow me to look. Yeah, you'll see that we have this blog.photobiz.com/social. We made this landing page, and for people on phones, this is what it looks like on desktop, but on phones, it'll look just like a little landing page. And what we do is we update this periodically with specific links and stuff we want people to go to. So, if you're doing this on the iPhone, this is what it would look like. So we would then have your latest blog article, website review requests, sign up for a growth hub, going to these locations. So you could create a page that's hidden like that, and that's what you can do. Yeah, no problem, James. If you want me to make that page live, we can. I can do that right now for you if you want, or you can just keep it as is and keep tinkering with it if you want to. Or hey, if you really want to get private and really work on it together, just let me know, and you can sign up for an education, a coaching session. So lots of things we could do. You just let me know how you want to proceed, and we can go from there. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it for today. I just wanted to kind of go over what those services are, what a coaching session feels like. Again, you get to see my face. I get to talk to you, and you would be able to talk to me too. It's all done in a Zoom environment. So we would just sit there, talk about what your needs are, what you're trying to improve on, and try to, get that all done within that hour. Or if not, we could pick up another session another time. But the real key factor is it's less you spinning your wheels figuring out how to do things and us helping you get it done so you're out the door with no problems. And we're really listening to what your needs are. You're like, you want to create this thing, so okay, let's see what your website's at now. Okay, let's make those tweaks first, and then really go in there and just keep those, keep improving as we go along. So again, if you want to check out a lot of this stuff and how we can do it, go to our education.photobiz.com, check out our coaching section, and choose a coaching session that works perfect for you. And then you can go to our blog.photobiz.com for latest content, tips, tricks, you name it. If you're looking for more stuff about SEO, click on the SEO topic tab. You can find out more details about that. You can see our latest featured posts, some stuff that we talked about. We had Sarah Petty. She wrote in, talked a little bit about some stuff with us, and some text. If you're looking for some website page flow information, some great information in here on how to build a better, effective website so people actually read it. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want to make sure that we're pairing stuff instead of just having a wall of text. An image with text kind of helps at the end of the day. Keeps people's attention drawn in. So lots of great content out there we wanted to share with you. All right. I want to thank David and James today for allowing us to do these coaching sessions real quick with them. So I really appreciate, just giving you guys feedback. I hope you guys go along with it. If there's anything you want to work on in the future, please let us know. That's what we're here for. You can always call into our team or live chat with us, and we can go from there, okay? All right. It's been my pleasure, and I hope you have a great, wonderful, long weekend with the Labor Days. All right. Bye.